Hey everyone, welcome to this little behind the scenes video we're doing for Cardboard Robots Battle in Space.
But first we want to say hello to all of our new subscribers. We have thousands of new subscribers who came in from Rhett and Link. They got a little bit inspired, I have to say, from Cardboard Robots. And now they're doing 5-word songs. Check out their videos, their first 5-word song, which involves a Nilla Wafer top hat.
Oh my gosh.
Nilla Wafer top hat time!
I asked you guys on the Facebook page what questions you had about Cardboard Robots, and there were a lot. So let's get started. Was this the most difficult thing we've ever done? I remember Eric wrote the script, and then we're like, okay, it'll probably take a week or two to do this. And then realizing it's like a 3-minute special effects shot.
Originally there was like a more involved like intro sequence where we're like running through underground caverns.
Tunnel.
I think we had just watched the dubstep laser thing from Corridor Digital. That was in my mind when I was writing it, not really thinking how we were actually gonna make it. And then everything took longer. Like the puppets, I was like, oh yeah, I'll bang these out in a day and a half. Because I finished the first one and I was like, Justin, this took like 4 days. I cannot build another one at this level. And I was like, is it cool if I build yours like not as cool looking? And you're like, sure. And then I started building that. I was like, I don't even really want to build a simple one again. So I built Justin the armature. I actually upgraded and put a switch in Justin's for his light. This is actually the same lights as I have in mine. He has one, I have two. And then I was like, now you cover it in cardboard and really make it your own. And he did an awesome job, right?
It was really painful cutting myself with all these X-Acto knives.
Hot glue burn.
The whole time Eric's robot sitting there, like glorious perfection.
Oh, jeez. Say goodbye, Justin.
What was the most difficult part of making the movie?
For me, the actual animation was the most difficult. His head just broke. Yeah, there it is. That little wire. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to fix that. We started this, I was really excited to learn about stop animation, and we used this great program called Dragon. What the f, Bob? And you know, I probably got about a day of animation in. I was like, okay, I get the feeling, this is great. And then I looked at my list, and a lot more of it originally was gonna be all stop animated.
Yeah, all the parts that aren't stop motion are just me like crappily holding the legs of the robots and moving around. It was all difficult. Like there's nothing really
Every
easy.
part.
Are those really our favorite Star Wars films?
I think you're stronger. You much more feel that Empire's much better. I'm a little more wishy-washy.
And I wanted Eric's argument to be a little bit weaker because I figure Eric has more fans. So at least that would give me a fair chance of winning in the comment section. Where'd you get all that cardboard?
There's a combination of cardboards. A lot of it was actual cardstock that I bought, which ended up being a little thicker than I would have liked. Best cardboard for something like this is like cereal box cardboard because it's super thin and super like bendy. So for the cockpit, I bought that cardboard in big sheets.
So this is pretty light. It's just these two chairs. I can see it all moves together.
And then some of the support side pieces were actually FedEx boxes.
Doesn't look like a lot from the front yet.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And this is just on C-stands. And you can actually adjust it for height.
Justin! How long did it take to edit? One thing you'll notice in the beginning,
2
which
days.
I think is not 2 days. If you look at the background, you see the trees actually changing through the season. So in the first couple shots, the trees have full leaves. And then as the shots progress, it's fall, leaves are changing color. Then towards the end, like there's just no leaves at all.
It's a metaphor.
We were shooting bits and pieces of it for 4 months. Days, entire days, just the audio, entire days. You know, just to doing the rough passes. And that's just my time, not Garrett's time, not Nick's time. I'm sure Garrett spent weeks just on all the different effects and all the revisions of the effects. When you're working with someone who's doing VFX, you want to make sure you lock down your cut as soon as you can so they can start working on specifically the shots you're going to use. I did all the editing, all the timing, all the pacing, all the audio work, all that stuff myself. And then once I knew exactly which green screen shots we wanted to use, that's when I sent those over to Garrett after doing some rough versions myself just to give him an idea of the look we're looking for. Sent those over to Garrett, and then Garrett did all the special effects work. When he finished a shot, I'd drop it back into the main composition and then play the whole thing through and see how it looks. How'd you build the helmets? I mean, yours is obviously more complicated. So.
What do you mean?
The box with a hole in it.
They both have the same infrastructure, which is basically a Home Depot face shield, which you would wear if you're using like a grinder or something. It was just some of that scrap stuff left over from the cockpit, cut and shaped in a lot of hot glue, and I just kind of built it around that shield. The cool thing about those helmets was they had the lights built into it.
Yeah.
And I took this idea from Battlestar Galactica. So I found these really cheap little headlamp lights The cool thing is they had like a white and a red mode on a Switch. How'd the whole scoring process work?
This is actually my first time working with an original composer who created music specifically for this piece. His name's Dan Martinez. He did a whole little thing where he runs through the Cardboard Robots project file. The link's in the description, or you can click the annotation at the end of the video and see his explanation about the process for music.
And how did you create the shots of the robot coming out from below the street?
This effect was so crazy and complicated and required so many different elements that Nick's gonna do an entirely separate video focusing on how he pulled it off. So be looking forward to that soon. Thanks guys. If you're not a fan of Indie Machines on Facebook, you gotta go check it out. It's the place to be if you're into the silly things that we make.
Big shout out again to Rhett and Link, and it's so cool that they've sort of taken our 5-word film idea and made it their own, and there's really cool stuff happening over on Indie Mogul again.
If you haven't been checking out Indie Mogul, you gotta check it out. Griffin is doing some awesome stuff.
Is back.
Definitely better than where Erik was.
Way
part of it.
better.
Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Welcome to our new subscribers. Check out all the links in the description or at the end of this video. We'll catch you later next Thursday's 5-word film.
And last but not least, here are some shout outs to some of our awesome Indie Machine fans. The Marvelous M,
Jason Smith and Epic Spade Studios,
Trevor Bernard,
James Kolschow,
Magnus, Circle with the Slash, Isith, and Mag Film Norway, which explained that character.
Larry Lane, shout out to Super Tom Servo.
You got the easy one. Jacob Rausch.
Okay.
I thought that was good.
Yeah.